Hi, my name is Anna, and today I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make some tie-dye socks perfect for 4th of July. That way you can celebrate Independence Day in style. You'll need the following supplies. Head on over to funsockcity.com for all your sock needs, including the ones you'll need for this project. No matter which look you're going for, you always want to prepare your socks according to the directions of the dye that you're using, as well as the dye. And I am using Pro Chemical dyes, which are really good, a little bit more challenging to prepare for. So just do whatever your comfort level is. You can buy some basic dye kits that make it really easy. For look number 1, both the socks will be done exactly the same way, so I'll show you how to do one of the socks and then you can repeat that on the second sock. To start out with, make sure you have your rubber bands ready. First thing you're going to do is decide how far you want the blue to go down. I think I'm going to have the blue go down about this far. Repeat this on the other sock right now so that I have them at the same level. That way one's not a little bit higher than the other. Make sure they're about the same. Set this one aside. Now on this top portion, you're just going to take little pieces of the sock and ball them up because these are the parts that we're going to try to keep white. We're going to dye blue all around these. And just do those all over this top portion, making sure to push in this back part of the sock in up with that front portion. That way the front and the back have white bits. And then you're just going to band your way down the sock. And this is going to be red and white, red and white, red and white. To keep mine damp while I'm tying the other one, I'm going to just put it in here because the dye takes better if the sock is a little bit damp. So repeat that process, that same process on the second sock. Now for the dye, on this top portion, these little bulbs, you're going to leave white. And we're going to dye these portions that are down low that aren't rubber banded. That's where we're going to put the blue dye. And also wear gloves whenever you dye, unless you want to have that color all over you. Now I'm just using a makeshift bottle for this. On the back, you don't want to squeeze it in where you've got it pulled in there, but just kind of put it on those open spots where you know for sure it's not part of a bulb. Put that to the side for right now. Now I'm going to wash my gloves and I'm also going to get a paper towel and wipe this off. And then you can do the red dye. Now this is imperfect, but that's the fun of tie-dye. Because this one has so many parts that we don't want touching other colors, I'm going to put this in plastic wrap because then we can wrap it this really long way to just kind of keep everything separate. And I'll stick it inside that same baggie that I was using to keep things from drying out before. And repeat that process with the second one. And then you'll let that sit for at least a few hours or even overnight. You can let it sit as long as you want, as long as it doesn't dry out. The longer you let it sit, the more intense the colors will be. All right, here we go for look number 2. All you're gonna do for this one is create a bunch of raised circles and then stripes down the sock. For the raised circles, push from the back up towards the front. I'm gonna take my gloves off because it's a pain. So push from the back towards the front and you're gonna grab that and you wanna make sure you get that back with the front in there. And then you're gonna just put that little bulb in a rubber band, nice and tight. And then go ahead and just create them randomly throughout the sock. Now I'm gonna keep this in a little baggie while I tie up the other one, just so it doesn't dry out. Now for this one, we're gonna just do red and white stripes. Decide how far apart you want them, and then just band it periodically. For this one, make sure you're wearing gloves for the dye. Again, have your surface ready. And we're gonna start out with the blue. You're trying to just fill in the blue everywhere that's not in one of these little bulbs. Then flip it, and you're just gonna lightly sprinkle it with dye on this back side, not too much. Then I'm gonna wash my hands and also wash this tray in preparation for the sock that goes with this one. Now for this one, you're just gonna alternate red, white, red, white, red, white, red. And then I like to just rotate mine and get that back side. And because we don't want this red to get onto the white, we're going to, or this blue to get onto those white spots, we're gonna wrap it in plastic wrap. And then this one we'll wrap also. And just keep it in that same baggie that it was in when you were keeping things from drying out. Let it sit for at least 4 hours, but you can let it sit for as long as you want. The longer it sits, the more the color will intensify, just as long as it doesn't dry out. For look 3, you're just going to rubber band intermittently down the sock on both legs and try to keep them about the same spacing on each leg. This one is really straightforward. You're just gonna alternate blue, red, blue, red. You can decide if you wanna do it the same on both sides, blue and blue, red and red, or if you wanna do opposite. So it would be blue and red and blue, whatever you wanna do. To keep it really simple, I'm just gonna do red, blue, all the way down. And make sure you rotate them a little bit to make sure you got as much as you wanted. And I like to clean up my gloves between colors. Sometimes I have to wash them underwater, but I think this one was okay. And then you're just gonna put the blue on in those other spots. And again, rotate. To keep the colors separate from each other, the red and the blue, I'm gonna wrap it in plastic wrap. Keep it in a baggie to keep it from drying out. And you want to let this sit for at least 4 hours. Let it sit as long as you would like. The longer you let it sit, the more the colors will intensify. As long as the dye doesn't dry out, you should be fine. If you found this tutorial helpful, give us a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss upcoming tutorials. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.